Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I am live. Yes! Yes! Yes, yes, yes. Oh, man. God, am I glad to be here. I had a long week. Adjust this slightly. Think that's almost perfect. Long week, so I'm really glad to talk football here. Really glad to talk football. Couple things I'm going to bring up. I'm going to bring up Jon Gruden, kind of situation with him. I want to know what your opinion is. Talk a little bit about Gruden. I also have a confession. I went 0-3 in my bets this weekend. My bookie account, which I put $100 in, I think it's 3 and some change, and that's it. My 3 bets were Ben Roethlisberger under 250.5 passing yards, which should have worked. He threw the ball 25 times. I knew this was going to happen, but he threw for 253 yards, so I lost that bet. CEH, Carlos Edwards-Helaire, 53.5 yards rushing. I really thought since he had back-to-back 100-yard games, I was hoping take 60 and so anyway, it was a loss. Then I took the Chiefs 2.5 point favorites. 2.5 point favorites. Normally the thing that I preach is that I'm going to make a profit betting on the National Football League, and this year it doesn't look like it. I mean, I have to kind of take a step back and kind of reevaluate my process. So, yeah. All right. Start with some comments here. Funk, am I crazy because I still see 4 wins on the schedule for my Lions, plus the fact they could steal a divisional win? Bengals, Eagles, Steelers, and Falcons. 4 wins is possible, but out of those 4 games, I don't see really any wins except for the Falcons. Red Sea and Homeland, what is up, man? What is up? I was actually hoping. I should have communicated with you guys. If you guys want to come on, I don't really have a problem with it. I wasn't expecting it. I was kind of hoping. But if you guys want to come on, I can send you the link. I can send you the link. All right, hold on. That's Homeland. All right. You guys want? Hold on here. Send it to Red Sea. I send us. Hey, let me know if you guys got the private chat. If you didn't, I can send it via Instagram. But the Funk, to start off though, you're not crazy for 4 wins, but if you think that these 4 teams aren't as good or worse than your Lions, then no. Alex, welcome back. Mills looked amazing against the Pats. The coaching, on the other hand, the coaching did not. I didn't get a chance to watch that game. And Mills looked amazing. I heard that they want to put Tyrod Taylor back as the starter. which is not a bad thing, to be honest with you. I would still want Mills on the bench, but you now have a franchise quarterback. When I watched him play in a loss against Carolina, the arm talent really stood out. You have a good quarterback, talented young man. I also thought that if you go ahead and put Tyrod Taylor back as a starter, it's a smart thing. Put him back on the bench, maybe a couple weeks, and then have him come back out. So, all right, man. All right. Let me know if you need me to send it via Instagram, and I can do that too. But I sent it in a private chat. You should be able to see it. I missed. Mills looked amazing against the Patriots defense, who was missing a lot of their man DBs as well, and a not so good pass rush. Mills had plenty of time. Neither one of you guys. All right, hold on. Let me send it via Instagram. I am like 86% sure I am not on drugs. All right. So I sent it via Instagram. So I do want to talk a little bit about Gruden, but I'm going to go ahead and oh God, wow, we got some arguing here. Gruden leaving might be a good thing for the Raiders, though not on the terms it should have ended on. Okay. I think this is a terrible thing. I think this is just bad in general. I'm gonna bring the Homeland and Red Sea. I want them to comment. 20 years ago, he definitely doesn't get fired over some emails that are old emails. Denver Gator's not on here. Denver Gator knows somebody called Kelly in Vegas. Kelly in Vegas started off, graduated from K-State, went out to Vegas, cocktail waitress, ended up making picks, got associated with Wager Talk. She got signed to ESPN over the summer. Was fired in, I think, 2 days due to some tweets back in 2013. I think she called somebody a faggot. Look, things that you did 8-10 years ago, not even public, just me one-on-one, I don't think you should be fired over. Did the Raiders have to do it? The answer is yes. Did it have to go down the way it did? Yes. And this is not a good thing for the Raiders. This is a guy who would have been in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Jon Gruden would have been in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He was turning around the Raiders organization. Even if they never get above 8 wins, even if they finish 500 and he ends up leaving on his own terms in a few years. But this is a guy who would have been in Canton. A guy who's been coaching football for 30 years. So I don't like it. But that's the society we live in nowadays. That if I'm going to tell you something, if you dig enough into me, there's no way I could be an NFL head coach. That is impossible. So anyway, to answer your question here, Alex, or actually your statement, I'm going to respond to your statement. It's not a good thing for football. It's not a good thing for society. But that's the age that we live in. Did the Raiders have to do it 100%? Should he have been fired? I don't think so. I'm going to stand by it. I'm going to bring in Homeland and the Red Sea. Welcome, guys. Thank you for coming in.
We have arrived.
Homeland.
After he totally forgot we existed, we are here.
I did not forget you existed at all, man. But let me just ask you. We'll touch base on Gruden, and then we'll move on to other bigger and better things. I'll start off with Homeland, man. Gruden being gone, man. Let us know.
It's as you said, 20 years ago, he's not going to get fired. But especially, in this day and age where, the whole social media is a thing and stuff like that causes a lot of problems. It's kind of, I was honestly kind of expecting it. I remember me and Corey were talking about, I was like, he's not going to last another 24 hours probably, depending on like how bad.
I think our deadline was the week.
Yeah, the deadline was the week.
It only took like 24 hours or so.
Yeah, like it's understandable, but I also think he made a smart choice rather than trying to like, beef with everybody else over, something that happened in the past. I think it was a smart decision by him instead of, causing a whole nother thing that would have happened around the league. So.
All right. And hey, Corey, man, what do you think, man? You both are in agreement that it had to happen. I didn't communicate with you guys, but I was thinking once it came out that I was actually thinking at first it was a suspension. But then once the email started to transcend, it wasn't just one comment. Then I knew he had to go. It
was like 7 years worth of emails.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
and it's kind of a shame because all those I sent you guys. I mean, this means that I am, probably going to get in trouble for that. So.
Yeah, Alex, you and I are going to have to beef about this later because I'm not going to argue with this on stream. Matter of fact, no. You know what? No, I'm gonna do it right now. I'm gonna list the depth chart for that game. All right. So Davis Mills, who did quote unquote amazing against the Patriots, all right, went up against J.C. Jackson, Jawan Williams, Adrian Phillips, Justin Bethel. Those were the corner because they had to put Justin Bethel in at corner, which is already a problem because he's a special teamer. You did not play against a good defense at all. You can't justify
J.C. Jackson's not exactly bad.
No, he's not. Well, okay, but is J.C. Jackson going to carry the entire defense, Corey?
I mean, he could.
He's not Stephon Gilmore.
Well, here's his thing though, is that he says that, and by the way, I didn't get a chance to watch this game. I just saw a few highlights. I wasn't actually familiar with the punt, so you guys will have to let me know. But let me kind of chime in a little more. Let's just say they don't get pretty with that punt. Whatever happened, I'm not really sure.
I have no idea.
Do they win that game? Do the Texans win that game?
Realistically speaking, yes.
Okay.
They do. As much as I hate to say it, yeah. But
I mean, as a rookie quarterback going against Belichick, I mean, that you have to admit it's not a bad performance.
It's not a bad performance, but it's not I wouldn't say it's not like he's facing the best defense in the league. It's like playing the Detroit Lions. No offense to Lions fans.
All right.
All of the offense to Lions fans.
Hey, he said it, not me.
Oh, hey, do they give back the chip they got with him? Okay. Okay. I when you said chip,
here.
For those of you that don't know, Gruden was removed from the Ring of Honor in Tampa Bay, and here's the deal, Funk, and I'll let Corey and Homeland come in and talk and give their opinions, but Tampa Bay had to do it. I'll be honest with you, I don't think the Glazier family really wanted to do it, but that's just my opinion.
I don't think any team would have wanted to do it.
No,
realistically speaking,
but when that comes out,
stuff
like that comes out.
That's gonna.
And this is not cancel culture. This is not cancel culture going after Jon Gruden. This only happened because they're investigating the Washington football team for the dumpster fire of an organization that is.
Yeah,
that's another thing. Bruce Allen, as of right now, I think is still employed.
He's not going to be for long.
Team. No,
I
actually thought both of them would kind of be fired at the same time or resign at the same time. I was kind of surprised that Bruce Allen was able to survive this long, but I think I personally am upset about it because here's a coach that would have been in Canton. He's dedicated over half his life to coaching, and he's being fired over some stuff that happened years ago. I mean, but anyway.
it's the NFL is weird with stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean it's true. Like I mentioned, ESPN. A lot of you probably don't know who Kelly in Vegas is. I'll put my football knowledge up against her any day of the week, but she's somebody who built herself up in the gambling community. Was on Showtime. Was associated with Wager Talk. I think she's now with Bleacher Sports or something like that. Anyway, she got to go and move into primetime. ESPN lasted 2 days, and I don't know exactly the tweets that she sent out, but I believe, and I could be way off, but I believe she called somebody a faggot and it deleted it, and then ESPN's like, no, we can't have that, and was fired. So, all right. Let me see here. I liked how Gruden turned around the Raiders, but I don't think he had enough to take him to the next level. I think the Vegas and Gruden go their separate ways down the line. But this sort, I don't think they would have gone the separate ways. I actually think they were building something really good. They just had a lot of misses in the draft. I actually blame Mayock more than I blame Gruden. Klein Farrell at number 4 was a whiff. Damon Arquette in the Arnett. Did I say? Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm getting. At 16 minutes in, I got my first name wrong. I mean, just bad. I mean, these are
Jonathan Abrams not really that good. Josh Jacobs is hurt all the time.
Yep.
I mean, I think that what they've done, Derek Carr is production's gone way up. So you got production in your quarterback. The Trent Brown signing. They gave him 4 years, $68 million deal. He didn't fit into that offense. He fits in.
And then they traded him right back to New England.
Yeah.
And then now he's injured and not starting.
Yeah.
Besides the point, but yes.
Wasted cap space.
But did you see there's something about Adam Scheffler? I heard something I haven't looked into.
It's like a story or something like that.
With Adam Schefter?
Yeah, I think so. I remember seeing something about it on Twitter. Okay. It was like he had talked about also, hi Jeff. He had talked about writing a story about something. I don't remember what it was in particular, but I do know that it was something very deep. Like I said, I can't remember all the details. It was just something I briefly saw on Twitter.
Is it? So I'm assuming Jeff here is a Saints fan. This is
yes.
Yeah, he's our Saints. He's the buddy. He's the guy we were talking about who's a Saints fan.
Okay, Jeff, man, welcome. I hope you hit the subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me. We definitely need more Saints fans in here. We need more Saints fans in here. Normally, I would tell you that I will win more money than I lose betting on football. This year, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm losing bets. I haven't kept track of my wins and losses, but if I did, I think I'd be at like 20%. I'm having a terrible year, and I don't see any good bets this week, and I might just have to take a step back and kind of watch some more film and do some more work.
Pats are going to be 2-4 at the end of this week, I think.
For a rookie quarterback against the Belichick defense, answer is yes. And long term, I think Mills is your quarterback. So,
No.
All right. Okay.
That's easily Detroit.
That's
easily Detroit.
Like I feel like
I have to be
Houston
honest.
with Tyrod Taylor is going to win more games. That's just
I'll be honest. I think with Mills or with Tyrod, the answer is Detroit. And the problem is that and I'll give credit to Detroit. For those of you who didn't see the game, it's actually funny. I was watching the red zone for some reason. Okay, I live in the Kansas City area. So the afternoon game, for some reason, was Dallas, New York. I couldn't watch the Denver game. What was the other? Oh yeah, and then Chargers, Browns. I couldn't watch that game either. I had watched the red zone. So I knew Minnesota won the game. But for those of you that don't know, Minnesota was up. I want to say 14-3. Detroit came back, or maybe it's 17-3. They went for 2 with under a minute left, down by 1. Converted, should have had the win, but the defense went ahead and allowed Kirk Cousins to just march right down the field. I want to say in 50 seconds.
No, it was under. They had like 37. They had 37 seconds left.
37. Oh wow. to be honest, Detroit deserved the win there.
Yeah,
I really thought Detroit won.
Yeah, I really thought Detroit won too. I was like, they deserved that.
I knew they lost, and then I started watching the highlights on the red zone, and I was like, oh god. But yeah,
Detroit's defense is just bad.
I've been trying to tell Lions fans for a while that they're running the wrong scheme. They have a terrible slow front seven. Why they want to run a 3-4 when they have personnel better suited for the 4-3 defense. By the way, when Aaron Glenn signed up with the Saints, he signed in with Dennis Allen. They replaced Rob Ryan, who ran a complex 3-4 system. They switched to a 4-3, and then they were one of the better defenses in the National Football League over the last couple of years. So I thought you were going to go through the same process. You replace a complex 3-4 scheme with a very simplified 4-3 scheme. Instead, they want to do just the opposite and run a very complex 3-4 man scheme. You don't have the personnel, you don't have the speed, you don't have the bodies. Anyway, kind of ranting there. Sorry about
the Lions found their head coach though. I like
Campbell, and they're Lions fans. The foundation is solid. It's just going to be a rough year, man. It's going to be a rough year.
I feel like they'll be good in a couple of years. Like, give it.
Yeah, they'll be good in a couple of years. Not this year. Definitely not this year.
Maybe.
I'll be honest with you. John Dorsey helped transform Kansas City from a 2-win team to an 11-win team. But he also had Andy Reid. I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions are competitive for a wild card spot maybe next year. But you're going to have to go a massive transformation. You need a lot of bodies, and you have draft picks. So
they have to hit on a lot of those draft picks.
Oh, yeah.
They're guaranteed probably Kyle Hamilton.
Probably, yeah.
So that's an instant win.
Okay, let me ask you this here. Does Detroit get the first pick in the draft?
Debatable.
See, I don't think
depends how Jacksonville finishes.
Yeah,
if Jacksonville doesn't win another game.
Well, see, here's the thing. Jacksonville has 2 outside linebackers. So and I may mispronounce his name, but Thibodeau, if I say the Oregon,
Kayvon Thibodeau.
Thibodeau. Okay, I almost got the name right. If Thibodeau's available, Jacksonville's going to pass on him because that's the one thing they do have in
I don't see that.
Jason and Josh Allen. They have those 3-4 outside linebackers. That's the only thing they really have that they're 100% sold on. So they would pass on Thibodeau. They would take Hamilton. Hamilton, if he's available, Jacksonville, I think, will fall in love with him. Detroit, on the other hand, I think would take Thibodeau because pass rusher is a higher premium, especially if you're going to run that 3-4 scheme. Thibodeau, to me, would be a better pure defensive end, but he does have the build to play outside linebacker in a 3-4 defense. So
I think a lot of things really also depend on what happens in free agency. Because, like, for all we know, they could pick up somebody who isn't really well known, and he could just become one of the best players on the team immediately and really help their defense. But
it's much easier. It's much easier to find. And don't get me wrong. I mean, Hamilton looks to be a really good player, but it's a lot easier to find a free safety, which Hamilton would probably be. Maybe a free safety, strong.
Hamilton
safety.
Is defense. He's kind of like Isaiah Simmons was 2 years ago.
Yeah,
Hamilton is honestly that good that he should be picked in the top 5. I don't know if he will because safety is that devalued, but
that's kind of well.
If I'm the Jags, going back to your point on Kayvon Chason and Josh Allen, Kayvon Chason's been kind of underperforming. If I'm the Jags,
he definitely has. But
if I'm the Jags and I'm at the number 1 pick, I'm not letting Kayvon Chason be the reason I don't take a generational edge talent in Kayvon Thibodeau. I'm not letting him be that.
You have a good point, but I really think that when I look at Jacksonville, I think a guy like Hamilton would come in and really add to that defense more than another pass rusher.
Their safeties are terrible.
Their secondary is just terrible. But think about it this way: they could draft Thibodeau, but they could also then trade Chason and get something out of Chason instead of just having him be on the bench.
Yeah, you could do that, but if I'm the Detroit Lions, I'm definitely taking a pass rusher over a safety.
Oh, for sure.
Or Jacksonville, I could see them I see what you're saying.
They
If
could
I'm
go either way.
Jacksonville, I would take the safety, or depending on what your defensive line looks like, there's that's another situation. Is that I've looked at some mock drafts, and the Alabama left tackles projected to be a top 10, which is universal. It seems like every left tackle from Alabama is going to be in the first round. This guy looks actually a better prospect than Leatherwood, who went 17th to the Raiders.
Oh, this guy's league's better than Leatherwood. Neal.
Oh yeah, Evan Neal.
Yeah, and that's another thing is because Cam Robinson's playing on the franchise tag, another Alabama left tackle, by the way.
They don't like Jawan Taylor that much.
No, they do not. And to be perfectly honest, a lot of people thought Robinson would be better as a guard or on the right side. Jacksonville put him in his left side, had a great rookie season. He's really been stagnant since then. He's not worthy of a franchise tag, but Jacksonville was kind of out of lurch. What I would do, if possible, move him over to the right side, see if he would be interested in taking a pay cut, which is doubtful, and then drafting the Alabama left tackle. At least you got your bookends set for your rookie quarterback. But Funk brings up a good point. Let's not forget there are people in the Hall of Fame that I can guarantee have some dark skeletons. I'll give you one. I read his book. I consider him to be the greatest football player of all time, Jim Brown. He went to jail for beating up his wife.
I heard about that.
Yeah. I mean, but if you want to say Jerry Rice is better, I have no problem.
Ray Lewis.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. But, I mean, he got in trouble. O.J. Simpson, as far as I'm concerned, should stay in the Hall. I mean, Lawrence Taylor, he's had some issues.
Well, see, the thing about O.J. Simpson is he was convicted of something he didn't do. Like, how are you going to kick somebody out of the Hall of Fame for something that they literally did not do?
That's actually an interesting point. I mean, if you go by the court of law, I mean, he was, not guilty. I think universally most people think he did it. It's actually funny in Jim Brown's autobiography. This is before the OJ thing. He mentions that O.J. Simpson had this dark, evil side that nobody would ever see. And I remember reading the autobiography, a long, long time ago before this whole everything happened. And then 9 months later, you see on TV the white Bronco going down the freeway there in California. And I was like, oh, my God, Jim Brown was right. But universally, most people consider him, a murderer. But if O.J. Simpson wasn't in the Pro Football Hall of Fame already, he wouldn't get in. Gruden will never get in.
No, he won't.
Was it? Matter of fact, we talked about since we have some Lions fans here. Alex Karras, he was kicked out of football for a year due to gambling with the Golden Boy Paul Hornig. Now, Paul Hornig did get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Karras did not. So, I mean, some people feel like that was kind of unfair, but it did happen. The answer is, do we kick him out of the Hall? No, I think once you're in, you should stay in. That's just my opinion. But with Gruden, I think that this doesn't happen. He goes into Canton. That's just my opinion. It's debatable. Definitely debatable, but there's a 0% chance he gets in now. Mayock's team says, oh, God. All right. Texans are worse. Lions could easily have 2 wins right now, but they lost on a pair of kicks that equal to 120 yards.
Well, 66 of those is Justin Tucker.
Yeah. And then the other kick, the Minnesota kick. I get what you're saying, Funk, but
that doesn't exactly mean your team is that great. Baltimore is struggling. Baltimore hardly has a defense now. And Minnesota,
I'm actually kind of surprised at how bad Minnesota looks. But I get what you're saying, Funk. But right now, there's maybe you're going to win a game. I mean, let's be very clear. You're not going 0-17, but somewhere between 3 and 5 wins.
No,
I get that.
It's kind of what you got.
Like she sends
So, Alex Leatherwood. Did I get the name wrong?
No, that's Alex Leatherwood. Alex Leatherwood was drafted last year by the Raiders.
I might have said the wrong thing.
Evan Neal is this year.
Evan Neal is this year, and as a prospect, it looks like he's head and shoulders better of a prospect. According to the Draft Network, I think he was listed as the 4th best player. And that's something Jacksonville, that's actually going to be very interesting what Jacksonville does in the draft. You know, if they want to go and get a tackle, do they want to build up the defense? You know, what are they going to do with Cam Robinson, which I don't think is a franchise left tackle, but if for some reason or another they think he is, and you know, they have to move forward. Personally, because they're not happy with Taylor, I would move him over to the right side if he's willing to do that. Draft Neal, is it? I think I got his name right this time.
Yeah, Evan Neal.
Put him on the left. You get your tackle set. You got your rookie quarterback set. You get ETN back. Hopefully, he's 100%. Then you build up your defense. That's what I would do if I was Jacksonville. But to be perfectly honest, all the stuff with Urban Meyer is going on. He may not be the head coach anytime soon. So
he probably won't be next year. I don't even know if he makes it the year. But
Detroit has potential to win. I say 4 games. That's Detroit. Houston,
Texans are not worse than I have to agree with this.
Texans, the Texans are a lot better than I expected them to be.
I've really liked what I've seen with the Texans, and that Mills guy, the arm talent is much better than I thought. The arm talent that kid has is amazing. I don't want him to play anymore. I'd rather Tyrod Taylor play for the rest of the year. Groom this kid. You can get a lot of draft picks for Watson. It's going to be very interesting. So
I like Tyrod Taylor. That is one of my favorite quarterbacks in the NFL, despite the fact that he's not had the best stats, you know. But I just like, you know, the way he plays. You know,
I've always had a man crush on him since he played at Virginia Tech. I loved him at Virginia Tech. 4-year starter, played awesome football in college. 3rd string quarterback, just worked his way up. I don't think it was a terrible pick, but it hasn't worked out. No. It definitely hasn't worked out. Hasn't worked out yet. And I say yet. Look, I've been off on my picks all year. I think Jacksonville wins this week. I'm not going to bet on Jacksonville, but I do think they're going to win this week.
Who do they play this week?
They are playing Miami in London.
Oh, they should get Miami.
Oh, Miami's terrible. Yeah, no, they should
Miami.
get
I think Jacksonville wins this week.
I'm completely convinced, and this is my inner Patriots fan coming out. I'm completely convinced they beat us by a fluke. Because I remember I'm in a group chat with a bunch of Dolphins fans, and they were like, "Oh yeah, so we're about to be the best team in the AFC East." I'm like, I guarantee you that's not going to be the case.
They were my dark horse for a Super Bowl, the Miami Dolphins. I really thought they were going to take a step forward, but they've proven that the Belichick tree only works when Tom Brady's there. So, I took a shot at you. I'm making fun of you just a little bit.
It's all good.
But the thing is, to be honest with you, Friday I'm going to break down all the games, but I wouldn't be surprised if New England wins this week, gets back to 3-3, and makes things very interesting in their wild card chances. By the way, they're a big underdog this week, but I think they're going to win.
I still think Mac Jones has been the best rookie quarterback. That's just me.
That's not saying much. A lot of the rookies look really bad.
That is a fact.
A lot of people are expecting Trevor Lawrence to be the best rookie quarterback because it's Trevor Lawrence. I'm like, dude.
No, Lawrence.
Doesn't he lead the NFL in interceptions, or is that Zach Wilson?
No, that's either one. It's one of the two.
No, neither one of those quarterbacks have been playing very good. No, Mac Jones is definitely the best rookie quarterback.
And if Trey Lance starts for the rest of the year, I mean, his second pass not gonna be doing well. His second pass of the Arizona game was an interception that he threw straight to Budda Baker. So I mean,
I saw that.
I don't know what to tell you.
No, you definitely don't take a D tackle. Yeah, if the Lions pick in the top 5 and they don't pick number 1,
DeMarvin Leal is good though.
Be the pick.
If you're trying to refer to DeMarvin Leal as a D tackle, he's good though. DeMarvin Leal's good.
we're gonna look.
Okay.
We're
Don't compare
argue
O.J.
about the
Simpson and Jeffrey Epstein. Come on now.
We're gonna have to argue about the O.J. trial. One of these days, we'll have to break it out. Did he do it? Did he not do it? And everything like that. Here's the deal, though. In a court of law, whatever you want to say, he was innocent. Now he did lose the civil suit, but that's another. Alex Karras did get in. No, I said he didn't. I didn't know he got in, so I'm mistaken because he was kept out. He should have been in about 30 years ago. I didn't know he got in, so I apologize. I'm messed up.
Speaking of Hall of Fame, Dan, I wanted to ask you because I remember me and Corey were talking about this when they first came out. Who do you think's gonna get in the Hall of Fame this year?
Well, I'll tell you one guy who definitely. Okay, I've been saying this for a long time, and it's funny because I'm a Chiefs fan. Cliff Branch needs to be in the Hall of Fame. How he is not in the Hall of Fame is an absolute joke. This is a guy who speed kills. I mean, the deep threat. I mean, this is a guy revolutionized the NFL. How Cliff Branch has been out of the Hall of Fame. He passed away. I want to say this summer or fall. How he is not in the Hall, I don't know. Otis Taylor, the Kansas City Chiefs, the hero of Super Bowl IV, has been nominated a few times, but really hasn't got a lot of traction. He definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Those two guys, just right off the top of my head. There's a few other names that I've looked at. I have a mental list of players that should be in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Those two, just right off the top of my head, are Hall of Fame players who are not in.
Me and Corey have a meme guy.
He's
Probably not going to get in because of all the talent that's there.
Okay.
But it was hilarious.
It's Anquan Bolden.
I thought I was going to talk about Dan Connolly.
Oh well, Dan Connolly, yes, but I'm going to talk about Anquan Bolden first. See, Anquan Bolden. See, if you've ever watched Anquan Bolden play, that's a Hall of Famer. The only problem is
the rest of the class.
He didn't play for a lot of popular teams, one of which being mine. And the other problem is the receivers that are going in the Hall this year.
Yeah.
Oh God. Steve Smith, Reggie Wayne, among others. It's bad.
Is the Hall of Fame list already been released?
Yeah,
candidates have been released.
The candidates, okay. You know what? This is bad TV or what have you, but I am going to actually look at this right now.
But Dan Connolly needs to get into the Hall of Fame just for that kick return he had against the Green Bay Packers. You cannot change my mind.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Let's see here. I've always liked Bolden. I'm not just trying to piggyback on your because you believe it or not, you played quarterback at Florida State.
Yeah, no, he played quarterback at high school and college.
I have the list up. Hang on. So we have for quarterbacks, we have Randall Cunningham, Jake Delhomme, Boomer Eisen, Jeff Garcia.
Okay, I got the list up here.
McNabb.
I'll be honest. Okay, a lot of people like Steve McNair.
Steve McNair was good. I don't know why.
I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer. I'll be honest. Nobody on this list. I'm banging the table on. Ricky Waters is talented enough to be in the Hall of Fame. I don't think he'll get in. For those of you who don't know, he does very famous comments for who, for what. We'll probably get him out. Steven Jackson belongs in. I'm going to tell you this. I'm a Chiefs fan. Priest Holmes does not belong anywhere near the Hall of Fame, and that's going to piss off a lot of Chiefs fans.
He said it. Quote it.
Running back. I'll be honest. He should not even be on this list. He should not even be a candidate. He ran behind arguably one of the best offensive lines ever to exist. Currently with two Hall of Famers and
minus the Dallas offensive line.
Brian Waters is the other one. And if you look, Brian Waters is on this list. Priest Holmes ran behind an offensive line with two current Hall of Famers. Brian Waters, who's on this list, was also on this offensive line. Plus, they had a Pro Bowl caliber center. All right. Because they didn't win a Super Bowl, they're not talked about as one of the greatest offensive lines in NFL history, but they were one of the best offensive lines in NFL history. By the way, when he got injured, Larry Johnson came in for 11 games, set the Chiefs a single game rushing record with 1,750 yards it was 1,786, I think. I'd have to Google it. Did it in 11 games, 11 consecutive 100-yard games behind the greatest offensive line I've ever seen. So, Jimmy Smith will never get in the Hall of Fame, but he deserves to be in. For those of you who don't know,
this is the wide receiver Jimmy Smith, not the cornerback Jimmy Smith.
Jimmy Smith, Jimmy Smith, the wide receiver, 100% belongs in the Hall of Fame, but he'll never get in due to drug issues. I won't go into detail, but I met Andre Rison at a strip club, so
Devin
he
Hester
belongs in the Hall of Fame.
If Devin Hester does not get in this year, I'm going to lose my shit.
Boy, let me see here. Tony Baselli belongs in the Hall of Fame. And then I'm going to skip some comments here. Mike, you're 100%. Zach Thomas, 100% is a Hall of Famer. I'll give him.
Oh, you had me thinking you were talking about the quarterback from App State. I was like, what?
No.
No.
Dude,
it's terrible.
Let me see here. Okay.
You saying that about your App State buddy, man?
Yes.
What you doing? Dick
Vermeil. I don't think Dick Vermeil is a Hall of Famer.
Kyler Murray's winning MVP.
But Cliff Branch, 100% should be in the Hall of Fame. Okay, just scrolling through this real fast. Cliff Branch, 100% should be in. Those I'm going to give you a name nobody knows about, but this is a Hall of Famer, Albert Lewis. Albert Lewis belongs in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Let me see here. Patrick Willis is a Hall of Fame. Sam Mills is okay. Sam Mills 100% is a Hall of Famer. He should have been in years ago. That's a joke that he's not in. If I'm correct, I don't know the maximum allowed in. I keep thinking it's 5. Is that correct?
It's like 5 or 6.
All right, I think I named
it's some low number like that.
It's a low number.
It's going to get really interesting too.
But let me see. I think the Cliff Branch nominee. I think that's separate. So you can have Branch and 5 others. I would put Tillman and Albert Lewis in. God, leaving Rondé Barber and Leroy Butler out would be tough. I might have to take Albert Lewis out, but he deserves to be a Hall of Famer. He's a damn good player. Zach Thomas should be in.
There's obviously Steve Smith. There's Reggie Wayne, Anquan Bolden, Devin Hester.
Good receivers, boy. I'll be honest, the best one's Andre Johnson out of them.
Andre Johnson's on there. I forgot he was on there.
I mean, I think Andre Rison should be in, but of course, like I said, I met him at a strip club, signed my jersey. So I always got a soft spot for Andre Rison. All right. And I apologize, guys. I missed some comments. Mahomes certainly does not look like a number. No, Mahomes is not the best quarterback in football. He's playing hero ball. He's throwing way too many picks. This is kind of what I thought would happen when he came into the league. I thought he'd throw a lot of interceptions. Brett Favre threw a lot of interceptions. I know it's kind of comparing Mahomes to Favre is not really fair, but early on in his career, he's playing like a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback. I don't think I'm being too much of a homer here, but does he look like he's the best? No, he's playing hero ball. He's making mistakes.
The problem is he has to play hero ball because his defense is atrocious.
The defense is god awful. There is.
That's the thing you guys have to trust in the draft.
I mean, losing last week, losing Chris Jones, the injury, that's a tough one. But if Chris Jones and Frank Clark come back, that's going to be helpful. So, but no,
I mean, even then, this defense is so bad.
It's a terrible defense. I actually think that the defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo If the defense doesn't improve, he'll be on his way out.
Oh yeah.
No, I agree, Alex. Your Texans look a lot better than I thought they would. This is a team that I think is going to be pretty damn good. The defense is playing at a really high level. I like the way your running backs, all 11 of them, are playing, and then Tyrod Taylor when he comes in. You got some really good people. The Texans are a fun team to watch, man. I wish I would have watched that game. I didn't have the option to do so.
What do you mean? The Texans don't exist. It's the Houston Patriots because half of their roster is from New England.
And the other half is currently on Arizona.
Exactly.
Denver Gator, man, I am really sorry that your Chiefs lost. I am crushed by it as well. So
okay, Funk, because I'm looking at Funk's comment because I have the stream open as well. You make a good point, and that's why me and Corey don't like having that extra game because it just makes it easier for everybody to break records. Like if someone's going to hit
sack record, receiving record,
someone's going to hit
records.
6K. It's going to happen.
Someone's going
to eventually hit 6K.
Possibility, as I don't think he's going to keep the pace up, but there is as of right now, Derrick Henry is going to break the rushing record.
Yeah.
Doesn't he have the rushing record, or is he just on the list?
No. He's one of the 9.
I think LT still has that.
The list. The rushing record is held by Eric Dickerson.
Yeah.
Did it in 1984, and Adrian Peterson I think came within 7.
Adrian Peterson was close. I remember Adrian Peterson was really close.
He was very, very close. And Derrick Henry, if he keeps the pace up, he'll break it. But I
see the problem is Derrick Henry's at already 600 rushing yards, and it's week 5. That's ridiculous. And on top of it all, he had 50 against us in week 1.
Well, you guys are the only team that was able to keep him bottled up. But I mean,
don't ask me how, because our run defense is horrible.
Having him touch the ball over 30 times against Jacksonville, I think, was a big mistake
for
this early in the season.
For this rushing record, Eric Dickerson had 2,105. Yes. Adrian Peterson had 2,097.
Yes, 8. He was off by 8.
He was really close.
So close.
It's kind of funny because they asked Eric Dickerson, because Eric Dickerson was at the game. It was in Minneapolis last game, and he's like, "No, I want to keep that record. I don't want him to break." I've always loved Eric Dickerson. He was one of my favorite players to watch. And watching Eric Dickerson highlights is like porn. I mean, I love it. Oh yeah. I did not know this, Hunk. I should have known this. I love the Eric McNair, but if I had to push for a QB, Cunningham is my guy. I don't consider Cunningham a Hall of Famer, but I remember in his prime, he was so much fun to watch. So much fun to watch. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. I'm going to say I don't think. I'll be honest, neither one of these two guys are Hall of Famers. And then I think the Hall of Fame committee is going to have a problem putting Steve McNair in. For those of you who don't know, he was killed under his mistress killed him. And anyway, it's kind of goofy. I got Herbert winning MVP. That's he's playing some good ball. I think Kyler Murray's got to be MVP right now. Right now, I still think it's Kyler Murray. Week to week, you could go either way, but man, Herbert's playing some damn good ball. I
mean, he just hung 49, 47, something like that on Cleveland.
Yeah, that was a damn good game. It was a game I liked the under in. So another.
Oh yeah, that was totally the right choice.
Well, I wanted to put action on. I was going to put action on Chubb for over on the rushing total, but it was 88.5, and I was like, okay, that's too high, and he goes for 160. So, okay, so he's in pace for right at the record. And if you're Tennessee, you really don't want to see him get that record because you have a chance to get into the playoffs, right? You don't want
Since the
somebody who's
division's so
going to
bad.
have 400 to 450 touches. You need to rest. You need to rest the guy who's the most important player on your team, because even though you're going to host a playoff game, you're not really one of the better teams in the AFC. So that getting, I mean, don't get me wrong, as a football fan, as a stats junkie, it would be a lot of fun, but yeah. Slasher, what's up, brother? By the way, your buddy said he was going to come in because he said the Eagles were going to beat Carolina. I told him I liked Carolina -3, and like I've done almost all year, I've gotten picks wrong. Big win. Congratulations. That was an awesome win. And I remember thinking that I really liked your game this week here, but I'm drawing. Oh, okay. Actually, you guys play tomorrow, and that's going to be an interesting game, by the way. We can talk about that, but good luck tomorrow against Tampa Bay. If you're going to play Tampa Bay, play them on Thursday.
What is it, Philly, Tampa Bay this week?
Oh yeah, and it's at Philly. And for those of you who are not aware, actually, I was going to look this up. I didn't have a chance before I came on the show, but last year Tom Brady had his worst game of the season on Thursday. It takes you a lot longer to prepare for a game when you're in your 40s to play on Thursday than it is when you're in your 20s and your 30s. I think Philly picked this Tampa Bay game, really good time. There's action being placed on Philly just to cover. The line was at 7. I've seen some places 6.5. For you Eagles fans, if you want to put action on this game, make sure you get 7. Try to get 7.5 if you can. But this would be a good game to take action on Philly. Actually, to be honest with you, I haven't looked at the numbers so far, but I would take the over. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think it's going to be a fun game. I'm actually really looking forward to this game. So,
well, I mean, neither teams have a defense. The problem is, can Philly actually score?
I've liked what I've seen of Jalen Hurts. I don't know if he's the long-term answer, but he's been fun to watch. And they got a couple rookie receivers. That's another thing. Tampa Bay has, I think, I think they have 4 defensive starters that are going to be out, 3 in the secondary. So
I know they're missing their key safety. I forgot what his name was.
And Levante David's going to be out.
Levante David's also going to be out.
Yeah, David's out.
Levante David. I want to say Jordan Whitehead's their safety, but I'm probably getting the name wrong.
No, I think you're right. Different. Not the former Buffalo Bill. His son played at Minnesota. I'm already drawing a blank on the name. Number 31.
Antoine Winfield?
Yeah.
He's healthy. Yeah, there he is.
The other safety, I think, is out. Levante David's out. I think they have 2 of the corners are out. So, I mean, Philly's getting Tampa Bay at the right time. I wouldn't put action on it, but if you are going to take action, make sure you get all 7 points. So, okay, here's what we got. No Jason Pierre-Paul. I didn't know about that. David Winfield's out. Okay, I thought the other one was out. No God. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend putting action on it, but I've been picking games at like 20%. So what do I know? I actually like the over in this game. I think it's going to be a higher scoring game than under normal circumstances. But this is going to be a fun game. This is going to be a really fun game. I'm really, really looking forward to it. I did too, Funk. He's just not a Hall of Famer. At least that's my opinion. The Lions pick number 4, and they select Kyle Hamilton.
Number 4?
Who are the 3 teams that you have being worse than the Lions?
Bro, like, you know what? And I probably know
that's a Lions fan. Never mind.
Let's just say they pick 4th. Let's just say they pick 4th. If Hamilton's available, yes.
Take him.
Yes.
Easy.
Yes, that's
no
kind of no brainer. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if he drops all the way to 4. No. I don't know if he drops that far.
No.
Okay,
I don't know if he does. I don't know. If you really want Hamilton, you may have to jump up to 2.
I'm just going to go out on a limb and assume the 3 teams ahead of them are going to be the Jets, Jacksonville, and Houston.
All right. So let's just say that's the order for the fun of it.
Jets with the number 1 pick. Their tackles are pretty set, so I don't see them going Evan Neal. I could see them going Thibodeau. But I could also see them going Derek Stingley because their corners are some hot garbage.
Well,
So I could honestly see them going Derek Stingley.
In that wide 9 defense that they run, corner's not really a priority.
But their corners are bad. Their corners are horrible.
Corners are not good. They got Bryce Hall, who they really like. He was a 5th-round pick last year. And if the Jets are picking number 1, I think they definitely take Thibodeau because that's a perfect defensive end.
All right, let's assume Thibodeau goes 1. 2 was the Jags ?
If number 2 was Jacksonville would take Hamilton.
Unless they do what you were saying and they take Evan Neal and move the offensive line around.
That would make sense. That would also make sense. But that would
and then at pick 3, Houston.
Because if they keep Robinson as their left tackle, which I wouldn't do, you're not going to use the 2nd pick overall on a right tackle. So
nope.
So you could use I think his last name's Veal, the Texas A&M defensive end. He's been a top pick. That I could see that being the pick. So
he's being comped to Aaron Donald, so I mean goes to show you everything you need to know. He's being comped to Aaron Donald.
He's a good player. He's a good player, and A&M did beat Alabama, which is going to help his draft stock. I
was so happy when I was watching that game because I was watching it for Weidemeyer.
5 minutes of it. I saw Texas A&M drive down the field, and I'm like, are they really going to win this game? Because
I just wanted Weidemeyer to do well because that's the tight end that I want Arizona to pick in the 2nd round.
I see.
I didn't.
By the way,
I didn't see them beating Bama.
Was awful. I feel really bad. I liked watching them play. The answer is, Mike, if I'm the Raiders, this would be my number 1. This would be my number 1 target. You're taking away. For those of you who don't know, Eric Bieniemy is the Chiefs offensive coordinator. He should have been a head coach
like 5 years ago, but we'll just totally ignore that.
Probably. The only issue is, Mike, and this is kind of what's been preventing him from getting a head coaching job, is he was the offensive coordinator at Colorado, I want to say in 2012. 2013, as a fan, he was either banned from the stadium or banned from the university for 1 full year with an incident with a female. And with the culture that we're in nowadays, there's been some talk that that's what's been preventing Eric Bieniemy from getting a job. No charges were presented, but he was either wasn't allowed on the university or wasn't allowed in the stadium for 1 whole year. I don't remember the specifics. This happened, almost 10 years ago, but there was some talk that that's kind of what's been preventing him from getting a head coaching job. So that might be the only thing that prevents him from getting a job with the Raiders, But that if that was clear, if that's fine, there's nothing wrong with that, then Bieniemy, an AFC West guy would be my number 1 pick.
Huh? What that? Nah. What was that? Nah. What was that comment? Nah.
Which one? Back. This one?
Somebody was in the fetal position.
No, yeah. He was talking about the Carolina Eagles game. And the other Eagles fan predicted an Eagles victory, and he's not here today. So yeah, Carolina was up 15-3, and Philly came back. Big win for Philly. That's why I liked over on Thursday Night Football. I'm not going to bet against Brady, but I like the Eagles in 7. I wouldn't take 6.5 though. As of today, right now, I'd say yes.
Yeah, within top 3.
When the combine starts, I want to hear the metrics. I want to see what he runs. I think he's going to do a good job, and I think that there's going to be some players that are going to move up and down after the combine. So
I mean, the combine's going to springboard some people ahead of him because I can already see a couple of DBs just blowing up the combine. Andrew Booth's probably going to do that. Gary Lam.
I want to see what Stingley does because he has a foot injury. Apparently, he's going to sit out for the rest of the year. Rattler did get benched in the game, and apparently
it's terrible.
He's going to be benched and will probably transfer, but that takes him out of round one. The Draft Network has, I believe it's Malik Willis, the Liberty quarterback, as a top 10 pick. I don't see that.
It's Malik Willis, Matt Corral, or Sam Howell.
And
the quarterbacks this year are that bad.
Mark Corral.
Matt, not Mark.
Matt, I'm sorry. For those of you who don't know, Ole Miss quarterback, putting up video game numbers, maybe a Heisman candidate. I did a Google search. I haven't done a Draft Network search, but he's listed at like 6'200". That looks to me to be accurate. From what little I've seen of him, he doesn't look like he doesn't have the NFL build. If he did come out early, which I think he probably should do if he continues to put up the big numbers.
Scouts are probably going to look away from him because he got destroyed by Bama, and it was pretty bad.
It wasn't a good game. I like what I've seen of the kid, but I would stay in school for another year because I can tell you this: if Lane Kiffin comes back, he's going to bring talent, and you'll have a much better draft grade. But he's not a guy I would see as a top 15 guy. I don't think he has the size, and from what I've seen, he doesn't have that bazooka arm. The arm's good; it's not great, and when you're that size. You'd have to have everything come together. But with this being a bad class, maybe you do want to come out. And hopefully the North Carolina quarterback, I'd like to see him go back to school because I think North Carolina is 2-3. So
North Carolina is not good. Sam Howell has nothing around him.
No. I would come back, but we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, you did say that about Rattler. I heard that he's going to be benched, but Oklahoma.
He has been benched.
Yeah, he's been benched.
The backup quarterback is the one who came back on Texas.
Well, okay. He got benched for the game.
The rest of the game.
As far as I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, Oklahoma hasn't released who's going to start, but there was something on Instagram where Rattler was on the second string, but Oklahoma hasn't been official.
Backup quarterback was getting most of the first team reps as of right now.
And he looked good from the clips I've seen. But
what I've seen,
Texas defense looks like the Chiefs defense. But by the way, the Texas running back, if you haven't seen him play, wow. He's a sophomore. He's not even eligible, but he's going to be a first round pick next year. Or not.
Yeah, next year's running back class is dumb good. Running backs, if you're on the fringe, come out this year because you're not getting picked next year.
No, that kid's going to be. I actually, even though running backs, you don't want to draft a running back early. It wouldn't surprise
next
me.
Year you do, not this year.
He may go top 10. He may go top 10 next year. He's that good. I mean, he's very good. Nagy is awful. Now that's reflecting on Bieniemy. I don't think Nagy's terrible, to be perfectly honest with you. He took the Bears to the playoffs last year. I mean,
Well, I mean,
that
defense
record, and the defense is good.
Just think about this: they had Matt Nagy as the coach and Mitchell Trubisky as the starting quarterback. How good's that defense?
The defense
is ridiculous.
Good. And here's the deal: if Fields plays better, if he continues to progress and goes on an upward arc, Nagy will stay there. But Nagy has to make the playoffs. I don't agree with that statement because what Nagy does and what Bieniemy does is not. I don't think they really relate hand in hand. So Bieniemy will get a head coaching job. I think the Raiders would be the perfect spot for him, but we'll have to wait and see. No, you shouldn't. Maybe if Ritter falls to the fourth, the Lions can take a QB this year, but the QB talent, I do agree. I don't see
Ritter's not falling that far.
Fourth. He's not going to fall that far. I have a feeling, even though I don't know anything, I think he's going to rise up through the ranks after the season. I think he's just going to ace the whiteboard. I think he's going to ace the interviews. And the one thing that he has that these other quarterbacks don't have is he has size. He's like 6'4", 215. He's got size. He doesn't have I don't think any of these quarterbacks have that NFL big time arm that, Herbert has or Josh Allen or Mahomes. None of them do. Ritter doesn't, but he has the size.
I think Carson Strong has the arm, but I mean Carson Strong's not exactly the best quarterback in the class.
No,
literally anything else.
He's the guy I would really need to watch during the combine. I want to see his pro day too. Since Gardner and Kier Elam, best corners in the draft, Stingley overrated. Can't talk.
I don't know. I don't know
agree
about
with that at all.
Stingley,
I think Stingley's sitting out. He has a foot injury. I think he's going to sit out for the rest of the year. But when he comes back, he'll be the number one corner. NFL scouts are in love with this guy.
There's projected at least 5, possibly 6 first-round corners in this class.
That I could see.
There's Stingley.
Stingley will end up being number one.
What you mean? There's 6 corners. You forgot one. His name is Corey McGrath. He's coming out of Florida.
I don't get it. Okay, so my show's got lots of love from the Lions, and for some reason or another, I got lots of love from Florida. Florida Gators love this program, so that's awesome. That's awesome.
Corey's finna go he's gonna go in the 3rd round of the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, it's totally like I'm at Florida right now. Totally like that at all.
Totally.
I'll be honest with you. One pride, I have not watched Michigan State play at all this year, and I really want to watch this Walker kid. If I'm correct, he's leading. I don't know if it's all of college football, but I mean, I know big game. I want to watch him play, but I'm telling you right now, as an NFL prospect, Robinson's easily a better prospect. As far as college football player, I'm sure, why not? But when it comes to time to being drafted, Robinson will definitely go higher than Walker. So. Funk, I'm not arguing this at all, but to say that he's awful when he's never had a losing season as a head coach, and he won 12 games his first year there. I mean, he has a winning record as an NFL head coach, and he may lead the Bears to another winning season despite the really bad quarterback situation. Am I sitting here saying he's a great coach? No, I'm not saying that at all. But I mean, to sit here and say he's awful. No, I think this is a guy, even if he moves on, he'll get another chance to be, he'll go back to being an offense coordinator, but he'll get another chance to be an NFL head coach. So I don't think he's awful. So I'll disagree with you there, but definitely. He's an offensive guy and the defense is carried. The same thing's true with Brian Billick, who won a Super Bowl with the Ravens. So, Eagles walk out of the draft with one of the top tier corners, and I'm absolutely fine with that. We got it. Absolutely.
Philly's scheduled to have possibly 3 first-round picks, but if Indianapolis is as bad as they are, they're probably going to bench Carson Wentz to get their first-round pick back. So having 2 picks in the first round and probably the top 10.
You're right. The Colts really have kind of control over that because if they keep losing,
bench Wentz. Do not play Wentz. You need a first-round pick.
Not only that, I thought Jacob Eason would show a lot more promise, and they're not happy with Eason or Ellinger, their 6th-round pick.
Sam Ellinger.
Yeah, but they got 2 very young quarterbacks, slasher. So if the Colts are in a bad situation, of course they'll bench Wentz and get the Eagles' first-round picks. You may not even get a first-round pick. So,
well, they already have 3. They're supposed to have 3. One of which is the Colts. So if the Colts just bench Wentz, then Philly will have 2. And both will probably be in the top 10 because one of them, I believe, is the Miami pick. Could be wrong. And then the other is theirs.
Hold on here. I think I have a list. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I have a list here. Crap. All right, hold on here.
I know the mock draft I just saw. Philly is supposed to have 3 picks, but one of them is the Colts. So
when the season ends, we're going to do a lot of draft stuff here. We're going to do a lot of draft stuff. I'm going to do all 32 teams. I'm going to do all 32 picks. We're going to do a lot of mock drafts. So when the season's over, we are going to talk a lot of draft stuff. I don't have a chance to watch as much college football as I'd like to. I don't get a chance to watch as much NFL football as I'd like to be honest with you.
Still haven't watched our Tennessee game where we murdered.
You know what? I wish I would have watched that game before I watched the Minnesota game. I wish I would have seen both. But since I watched the Minnesota game, I didn't go back and watch the Tennessee game. And I didn't also watch – I was going to watch Miami and Tampa. That was the other game that was on with Pittsburgh and Denver. But I was like, okay, if it's a blowout, I'm going to skip it. And then I was furious. The only game I could watch in the afternoon was Dallas and the Giants when there's some really, really good AFC West games going on. So you like both of these guys over Stingley. I'm really surprised about that, but we're going to do a lot of draft stuff. We're going to do a lot of draft stuff between now and the end.
Right now, personally, my corner rankings are Stingley, Elam, Sauce, Booth, McDuffie.
I don't have a list, but I'm going to tell you right now, Stingley would be number one. I'm going to try to.
Stingley has to be number one. It's not a debate.
That's a no-brainer. I think it's a no-brainer. There was talk that he may be the number one prospect, but I think Hamilton and Thibodeau have really taken over that. But I think when everything's said and done, Stingley will be the number one corner off the board. One Pride 40. So if the Lions have the second pick, do they take Hamilton? I'm going to say yes.
If Thibodeau's not there, yes, take Hamilton.
And the reason why you would make this move is that because you have another pick. Remember, you have the Rams pick in the first round. You can get very creative with that pick. You can move up. You can move down. Knowing John Dorsey, they would move down and get a slew of picks. And there's going to be lots of trades in this draft because there's several teams in this draft that have multiple first-round picks, and not everybody's going to want to take a bunch of players. So that definitely Detroit can get very creative with that second first round pick. All right. Denver Gator. Hell yeah. Gators. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Don't you dare mention Raging Cajuns in front of me.
Yeah. He goes to App State and they just got blown out by Louisiana.
Oh, really? Well, hey, you know what? This is a good move that he takes over the LSU job. I will say this: I don't know the LSU coaches by name, but he's going to be gone after this year. Yes, he had one of the best college football seasons of all time when he won the national championship, but he is. I think he's en route to a losing season. So yeah,
for the second straight year minus Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Because last year was pretty bad.
I'll be honest with you, Denver Gator, and I don't know enough about the Raging Cajuns, but I think LSU's a high enough profile program that they probably go after a bigger name. So, but if Napier aces the interview and he has a good recruiting base within the state of Louisiana, for those of you who don't know, it's not anywhere near Texas, but Louisiana is a hotbed for a high school talent, not on the Texas front, but they're one of the top states. So if he has a good control over the Louisiana recruits, then yeah, I could see that. But to be perfectly honest with you, the guy that, if I'm LSU, the guy I might be circling might be Urban Meyer. So I like Booth, but I need to see more production on the stat. I'll be honest. I haven't had a chance to watch any of these corners. I can't really vouch for any of them. So
Booth has not looked as great this year. He's the guy who led up the game-winning touchdown to NC State, and NC State's not exactly a good football team.
Ooh, wow. The Lions don't take Kavion. They're high. Okay. I think Thibodeau is going to go number one. All right. So that's kind of the situation. But if Thibodeau's available, I think the Lions have to take him. So Lions.
Nakobe Dean, he's talking about.
Yeah.
You want to take Dean number 2 overall?
Not number 2 overall.
I hope not. That's
delusional. Hold on. He says, okay. Yeah, Dean.
Oh,
Dean,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, okay. Oh, that makes a lot of sense, Funk.
Yeah.
I thought
oh, my God. My heart.
Too. But no, I like this. I like this a lot. Chat Sport was asking who's the Lions' next head coach.
Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell.
I'll be honest. I think Dan Campbell definitely is going to take.
They were looking for a bridge coach, but they found an actual coach. So it's
all
on them if they actually keep it.
At least year two. Definitely year two.
This is going to piss Jeff off, but I think the Saints are going to draft Spencer Rattler.
Okay, so for reference, people, Jeff is our Saints fan that me and Alex know. But the problem is he's also a Texas fan.
Oh.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, man.
Rattler's currently at Oklahoma. He's a Texas fan. Yeah.
Okay. You know what? I would love to have more Texas Longhorn fans here. And Jeff, I want you to stay, brother. I want you to stay. So I get a new subscriber here, and you guys are chasing him away. But no, I need a Saints fan. Actually, to tell you the truth, I would love to see what the Saints are a very interesting team. What do they do after the season?
I think they go quarterback. I don't know if it's Rattler, but I think they go quarterback.
Well, let me throw this out. And before, a matter of fact, if I tell you the backstory, you'll guess who it is. But remember, Brett Favre finished his career in Minnesota.
Ooh.
Matt Ryan is probably not going to be in Atlanta too much longer.
Nope.
And I mean, if I'm the Saints, I would love to make it happen, and I have a hard time believing Matt Ryan's in the long-term plans.
I don't think he's in the long-term. I think he stays there for at least another year because his contract's bad.
He might have to due to the contract, but
yeah, the contract's bad.
I can tell you right now, I think that from what I've seen of the Falcons, I think that they want a quarterback who can move around, and that definitely isn't Matt Ryan. I mean, if I'm Matt Ryan, I would love the opportunity to go. I'd restructure my contract. I would do everything, and I'd love to go with the Saints for a couple of years. I personally think Matt Ryan, even though I think he's 38, I could be wrong on that. I think
somewhere in the rookie year was 08, I want to say 08 or 07.
I think it was actually 05. Somebody could, we could Google this, but
rookie year was the year that us in the playoffs, the year that we went to the Super Bowl.
He was drafted in 08.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. Oh, all right. Ben, I mean, he's been in the NFL for a long time. Bottom line, I think he'd still play for another 4 or 5 years. I personally think it wouldn't surprise me. I think he'd be better fit with the Saints. And I from what I've seen of the Saints offense, they want a mobile quarterback. So, yeah, I agree with this, Funk. Okay, with Dan Campbell, he'll be back for 2022, but he'll have to do better than what he's doing this year. And he's going to get players. So, Nakobe Dean ain't even a first-day prospect, right?
Not a lot of linebackers are, but Nakobe Dean's one of them.
Yes.
Once him and Christian Harris.
I want to see what he does at the Combine. And I'm telling you this right now, the Combine, if they have it this year, is going to have a big impact. If Dean comes out and he runs like a 4.89 or something crazy, then no. It's going to depend a lot on what he does at the Combine. As of right now, I could see him being a late first.
I've done a little bit of scouting so far because I've done some mock drafts for Arizona. So I kind of know what's going on right now.
Well, would you have him ranked as a first-round pick?
Nakobe, probably late first, very late first.
That's where I got him right now. But I mean, if he goes to the Combine and he runs like a 4.89 and has a 21.
Yeah, if he has a bad Combine, then probably
kick him out. But I mean, the Combine's going to depend a lot, and that's why, like when we talk draft, let's take a look at what we do with at the Combine, because I don't do any mock drafts till after the Combine. I might make an exception this year, but as a general rule of thumb, I don't do any mock drafts. I don't do any mock drafts until after the combine. I want to see what these guys do, especially the quarterbacks, because I want to see these guys how they address the whiteboard, and I want to see how they throw.
I just found out some news.
What's
regarding Jon Gruden? Apparently, and this was posted 5 minutes ago, EA Sports announced that they are taking steps to remove Jon Gruden from Madden 22.
Wow.
That's big.
It doesn't really surprise me. I mean, you're ultimately in the business of selling games, and
before Alex and Jeff, before you say something, we're not restarting. We just finished the offseason process. We just finished the offseason process. We're not restarting the league to kick Jon Gruden out.
The only person who would want to restart would be Jeff, because Jeff had the worst draft out of all of us.
Yeah, Spencer. In our Madden draft a couple of hours ago, Spencer Rattler went to the Saints. That he's not playing. He's playing as.
Sorry, man.
He's not happy.
To answer this, Jeff, who knows where the Saints are going to pick at? But absolutely, they could take one of the. It wouldn't surprise me. Olave or Olive. I think it's Olave, but I think he's going to go in the first round. Again, I need to see a combine. I mean, if he goes to a combine and runs like a 4.7 or something like that, then no. But
Olave's running in the 4.4.
Hopefully he does. I've seen some goofy stuff, but the combine's going to be big this year. So if he produces at the combine like I think he will, then yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Denver Gator, you are now my other best friend. You a lot.
I didn't know this, but if he does have a huge following in Louisiana, then absolutely. Because for those of you who don't know, Louisiana is definitely one of the top 10 states for recruiting high school players, and it always has been. It's actually one of the more underrated states because it's right next to Texas, of course, which is the number one state. But if you have a strong in-state recruiting, that would be a great move. And LSU would offer you 5 or 6 times what you're making now, maybe even 7 times. I mean, LSU would not have a problem if you're have a strong enough recruiting base within Louisiana to offer you maybe $10 million a year. I don't think because he's not a big name coach that he'll get quite that. But I mean. That would be and I had no idea that South Carolina Auburn was also looking at him. That's something big. So that's kind of what we all think too. Adam Anderson, I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure who he is, to be perfectly honest.
Edge from Georgia on Georgia's ridiculous defense.
That Georgia defense is ridiculous. Campbell can't leave. He's a goat from the I mean, you had a bunch of coaches leave. So, Pride says we need our inside linebackers to be right for the future.
Should have taken Isaiah Simmons, but thank you. I'll take him.
Yeah, Michael Thomas is the most accurate pass catcher at the wide receiver. No one's average a high career catch percentage. That would be great for him.
Michael Thomas is slant boy.
It's easy to catch a lot of passes when you just run slants and
exactly. And yes, App State, let's go.
Daniel Jeremiah, who does the Behind the Sticks podcast, went to App State, so he constantly brings up App State. So
App State's not a bad program.
By the way, it would be great for Ryan, but you also have to realize he's had Drew Brees is, as far as I'm concerned, the most accurate quarterback of all time. And I've often said this. I'm really surprised that nobody will consider Drew Brees the greatest quarterback of all time, but he has the highest completion percentage. He's the most accurate quarterback. And until a few weeks ago, he owned, the yardage record and a lot of other passing records. So I'm always surprised that nobody says Drew Brees is the best quarterback of all time. He's always discounted, but maybe he should be. So, yeah, for Matt Ryan, but it's also a lot to do with Drew Brees, too. So, I mean, you got the most accurate passer of all time, in my opinion. So, you do need an edge. That's why Thibodeau would be your number one. So, it's not that big of a deal.
I disagree with that, but we can move right along. Enough roasting a lion for at least 5 more minutes.
Okay. I missed something. I apologize. There are some edge rushers in this draft. This is a very heavy defensive draft. So I mean, I can't wait for the draft to start. I mean, look, we're only finished with week 5 at the
5
NFL
weeks,
season, but we are going to do a lot of draft stuff here. I promise. We're gonna do a lot of draft stuff. Funk, what about Kingsley from South Carolina?
Kingsley and Agbury.
I haven't had a chance to watch him yet, personally.
I mean, this edge class is dumb good. I'd say ranking classes this year, probably corner's probably number 1, and an edge is there's such a small gap between edge and corner. They're the top position groups in this class. They're both ridiculous. There's going to be more than 5 first-round picks at each position in this draft. It's ridiculous.
You're right about that. That I do agree upon. And Funk, by the way, I remember this. Funk was beating the table for Simmons, and from what I remember, Patricia actually wanted Simmons. So, Patricia wanted Simmons, and then Quinn wanted Okuda. So.
I really want, when we play the Lions during the season, I really want the first pass that Jared Goff throws to be intercepted by Isaiah Simmons. Really want that to happen.
Yeah.
I hope Isaiah Simmons gets injured so that way I can put it in your face.
Okay, you're struggling to beat the Texans. You don't really have any.
Let me throw this out. Let me throw this out. I want to get your guys'. I want to get both opinions, but I do want to start with Corey here. And normally I'd save this for Friday, but I know you guys can't make it for Friday. So Arizona travels to Cleveland. Break down that game and give us a winner.
I got Cleveland right now. We are going to be down Chandler Jones, Rodney Hudson, probably a lot of the starters who missed last week's game against San Francisco. Kyler Murray's all banged up. We're injury wrecked badly.
I was going to say I think this is the week that Arizona.
Yeah, Cleveland's our run defense is not very good. Cleveland's run game is very, very good. 1 + 1, I mean, pretty easy math. I think it'll be a good game. I just think Cleveland wins.
All right, Homeland, what do you think, brother?
What for the Cleveland Cardinals game? I think Arizona finally gets dethroned.
Okay. I was expecting an argument from one. I actually, you know what? Just for fun, I went on to my bookie. I have $2.26 left of 100. Yeah, I am not picking games good. I will admit, Cleveland's a 3-point favorite. I find that very shocking.
Well, we're down center, our best rusher. Our corners are banged up. Our quarterback's banged up.
Wow, I'm looking at. I haven't had a chance to look at these lines yet, but there's some really interesting games. This is going to be a great week, and there's some good lines. But I'm not going to put any action down. I want to do some more research and get some wins before I want to sit here and start giving advice.
Yeah,
but the over under on the Tampa Bay Philly game has jumped up to 52.5, and it's probably going to be faster. So,
for this week. We play the Cowboys, and I have us losing.
I'll be honest with you. I actually like New England, but I wouldn't bet on it. But I have to admit, New England's a 3.5-point dog at home. I actually thought it'd be a little higher. I actually could have sworn this was 4.5, but I'm not going to touch. I'm not going to touch pace on. I'm not going to touch this game. But I actually like New England in one
because I looked at the injury report. And this is based on people who did not practice or who were, limited in practice. So players who did not practice, Damian Harris is one of them. That's a problem. Shaq Mason, who's our starting right guard. Sean Wade, who hasn't played a game since, I think, week 1. And then people who were limited were Jawan Bentley, Cody Davis, Kyle Duggar, Nick Folk, Justin Herron, Jonathan Jones, Jalen Mills, Ronnie Perkins, and Kyle Van Noy. So it's like
the entire New England Patriots.
Pretty much.
I know Dallas's defense has played better, but I think that this would be
they haven't played anybody.
I think Mac Jones could have a really good game, and I haven't checked the weather report in the injury report. Again, I wouldn't put action on it, but I actually like New England because I think Dallas is getting a little too hyped. And if I'm correct, they have a 2-game lead in the East.
It's not saying much.
No, it's not. But I mean, knock on wood, Washington loses against my Chiefs, which are in dead last in the AFC West, and that hurts Denver Gators. So sorry, Denver Gator. Denver Gators huge Chiefs fan, and Dallas normally in this type of situation really tends to underperform. So I have to admit that's a game I'd keep an interest in, but I'm not going to put action down. I'm not putting action down this week, but I need to get some wins.
I see Dallas winning this game, but honestly, I could see New England winning it because of Belichick, because Dallas is that much overrated.
Okay. Let me see here. I think I missed something here. He said he wanted. Okay. He said he wanted. Okay. Are we talking about Matt Patricia here? I think Patricia wanted Simmons. That's just my opinion. I had Derek Brown as my number 2 player overall that year, but I think Patricia really wanted Simmons. But come on, Pride, clean up the language. The scout staff wanted Simmons and Quinn the most. Give him when he gets back from injury. We'll see how he plays next year when he comes back. But I wouldn't write him off yet. Don't write off Okudah yet. So I had an argument with my friend about Trayvon Diggs.
He's overrated.
Okay. So the argument is that Jeff Wilson says he's underrated, or
no way. He's with me and Corey on Trayvon Diggs is overrated.
Okay, so the argument is that you guys say he's overrated.
Trayvon Diggs is overrated. For people who haven't seen this, yes, he has 5 interceptions. Okay, look at the quarterbacks who are throwing the passes towards him. Not good. B, if you pay attention to any kind of stats, you would see that Trayvon Diggs is on pace to allow over 1,000 yards by himself. Yeah.
Apparently, he's the best DB in the NFL.
No
right?
bueno.
Okay. So the argument is that what is specifically the argument? Is he a good corner? Is he a bad corner? Is he the best?
He's not bad, but he's not the best corner in the NFL. He's overrated.
All right. No, I would concede that. And let me tell you a little secret about corners. Normally, the corner who has the most interceptions gets the most interceptions because he has quarterbacks that do not have a problem throwing away from him. Like there was a lot of games that Richard Sherman, when he was the number 1 corner, he was ignored. Darrelle Revis, he was ignored. Deion
Patrick
Sanders
Peterson was the same way for like 10 years.
Yeah, Patrick Peterson. Okay, yeah, Patrick Peterson. I've watched games where Patrick Peterson didn't get a pass thrown, hit the side that he was on. They said, okay, Patrick Peterson's covering you, or just you're done. We're not going. Teams aren't saying that about Trayvon Diggs. Okay. Oh, okay.
No, you're still throwing at
okay,
Trayvon
this
Diggs.
Is the argument. Okay. Is Trayvon Diggs the best corner? The answer is no.
No.
Not even close.
No. The 6 interceptions it was 5 or 6 games. That's impressive.
6 interceptions in 5 games because he has one game with 2.
It's impressive. Is he the best corner? No.
No,
he's not. Will he go to a Pro Bowl? Yeah, he'll go to a Pro Bowl. Will he make like the NFL top 100 list because he has highlight reel? Yes. Would I call him one of the best 5 in football? Probably not.
I can list the 5 pretty much right now if I wanted to.
Let's hear your 5.
And this is in no particular order. Jalen Ramsey, Jair Alexander, Stephon Gilmore. Let's see who else.
Probably J.C. Jackson. J.C. Jackson's better than him.
Yeah,
I would take
top 5. I'm talking top 5 right now.
Now isn't Alexander? Is he out for the whole year, or is he just on?
No,
IR?
he's out for a couple of weeks.
He's on IR.
I would take Alexander over Diggs, but I like what Diggs is doing. Don't get me wrong. What Diggs is doing is good. I mean, for a second-year player under a brand new defensive coordinator, what he's doing is good.
Tre'Davious White.
I mean, yeah, what he's doing. Yeah, Tre'Davious White.
Xavier Howard.
I mean, there's, you know what?
Hell, Bradbury.
We may
Bradbury.
Yeah, Bradbury. We may be able to name 10. Lattimore. I forgot about Lattimore.
Marshawn Lattimore. Byron Murphy this year because he doesn't actually allow yards and he gets interceptions.
Actually, I remember him coming out of Washington. I really liked
him. I still stand by this. J.C. Jackson, although being an undrafted free agent, has performed very, very well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I don't know if I would take Slay over Diggs, but they're very close. I think that's
big
fair.
Play to Slay, though. I'd personally probably take big play Slay over Trayvon Diggs.
I'd take big play Slay over
Doug Peterson. You know what? Doug Peterson to go to Vegas. I did not even think about it. But
remember that whole slander where after the Eagles beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl, they thought Doug Peterson was the best coach of all time.
They did, and then
I was like, huh?
Yeah, they really did. And give credit to Doug Peterson. I mean, he did a fantastic. He outcoached Belichick in that game.
Yeah.
But
was that more of him or was that more Frank Reich?
That's a good question. That's a legitimate good question. And even though Frank Reich's not doing a great job with Indianapolis, they have a ton of injuries, and
Indianapolis is not a good football team.
No, they are not. No, they are not. That was a great game on Monday night. By the way, give a ton of credit to Lamar Jackson. I think he threw for 443 or something.
He's still a running back. Don't get carried away, people. Still a running back.
He played well, and it also made me miss Sammy Watkins. Everybody can agree Sammy Watkins looked much better in the Chiefs uniform.
Yes.
So, Brown is okay, but nothing. I love Derek Brown coming out of college. He's not been great, but he's been pretty good. Luke is already predicting we are taking a safety. He is 2 for 1. Oh, okay. For those of you who don't know, Luke G over the last 3 years has nailed. He nailed T.J. Hawkinson. He had Simmons, and then who do you have this year? Did he nail? I'm gonna assume that you're right, but he has taken a safety. Listen,
so he's good in draft predictions, but not good in season predictions. Is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, that's fair to say. Here's the deal, One Pride. We got 12 weeks of football left. I need to see the combine. Even though Hamilton looks like he's going to be a top 5 pick, if he gets injured, case in point, the new linebacker in Green Bay, the former Dallas Cowboy,
Jalen Smith.
Okay. Jalen Smith's a top 5 pick. In the bowl game, he tears up his knee. He becomes a second-round pick. So many things can happen. So many things. Hamilton could get hurt. He could have a bad combine. And when I say bad combine, I'm not talking just as on field, but I'm talking off field. Away from the draft prospect. Who was that linebacker? I believe he's now with, I can't remember I think he's with San Francisco now. He was going to be a top 5 pick and had gotten an argument and ended up going 32nd to the Redskins, and then he got in off-field trouble. Anybody remember that guy?
Not off the top of my head.
Reuben Foster?
I'm too exhausted to think right now.
Yeah. He was going to be a top 5 pick, and then he also had but he threw a temper tantrum at the combine. Matter of fact, for you Eagles fans, I can't believe I already forgot his name. Jalen? No, not Jalen. Come on, I'm embarrassed to admit I already forgot his name.
Didn't even finish the sentence, and you forgot his name.
I did not even. I am off today, and Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts was projected to be a 5th-round pick. He gets to the combine. He gets into the interview room. He skyrockets up to the 2nd round. Deserved to be a 2nd-round pick, by the way. But going into the combine, he was a 5th-round pick. So I really want to see the combine. I want to see the rest of the college football. I want to see the rest of the NFL season. A lot of things are going to change. So, I mean, we got a lot of football left. So,
oh man,
I just want to see Bama versus Georgia. I just want to see that. Please give us that.
Quinn Pancake panicked taking Okudah because he got rid of Slay. There was a lot of people thought Okudah was the best corner in the draft. But yeah.
I mean, he was.
Slay got paid for a ton of picks in one season and never having anyone on the other side of wish Lions would have taken Kim. I like Dantzler quite a bit, to be honest with you. I really did like that player. I thought Slay was a really good corner. He wanted to get paid like the number 1 corner in football. I thought that was overdoing it. But Doug won a Super Bowl in the second year with a backup quarterback in Sidney Jones and Jalen Mills, the starting corner. You can't exactly. He did a fantastic job. He'll be an NFL head coach. The Raiders would actually be a good spot for him. I think the Raiders would be a good spot.
You see, he did that, but what has he done since then?
Well, he got
a whole lot of nothing
immediately.
Oh man. I think it might be time for me to depart. I'm dying of exhaustion.
He is tired.
Look, we're going on an hour 40. I'm going to answer the rest of these comments, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. He had Slew Slater this year, so I give him a 1.5. Speaking of Broncos signed John Brown. We needed a speed piece. That was actually a great signing by Denver. I wasn't even aware of that. That's a great signing John Brown. That's a real smart move. Okudah can be a great DB, just needs to stay healthy and not rush back. He had an okay rookie season. Yeah, they needed to change some things on the defensive scheme. And by the way, guys, don't forget, even though we're going to wrap this up here, give me a thumbs up. And also, if you can, give me a comment in the comment section. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm. Miles Jack did fall to injury. Yeah, he would have been rumored top 5, and he ended up going in the 2nd round. That's why, when we talk about mock draft stuff, I really, really want to wait. I really want to wait and see what happens in the college football season, see who's healthy, who's not healthy. That Stingley injury that he has, is he going to come back and work out during the combine? Is he not going to work out? Because he could go from a top 5 pick to a bottom 1st round, maybe even 2nd round. You never know. Reuben Foster, that was the guy's name. Yeah, he looked awful, like Okudah was epically bad. Okudah's slow, has bad hips. I keep hearing that, but I don't think that will happen.
Oh, guys, join our Madden franchise Discord server. It's going in the fucking chat.
Hey, put it in the chat. You guys tried to put it in the link, and it didn't work. But if you want to, yes, put the Discord server in there. Please advertise it, and let me know you guys do. I don't play Madden myself, but yeah. Mike, not till 2023.
You have to be on Xbox.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to wait and see. I want to see. I haven't watched Liberty play. I don't know Willis's skill set. I've seen some highlights, but Philly, yes, here you are. Yes, your Eagles did get the win. I'll tell you what, you got Tampa Bay at the right time. I like the over, and I like the Eagles to cover 7. That's what the line is right now. I wouldn't bet on them to win, though. But all right, here. There's a lot of different things here. The quarterback out of Clemson, I think, will be the number 1 pick in 2023.
Yeah, he hasn't looked great.
He hasn't looked good this year, but I mean, this is a guy who's got the NFL build. He's got the NFL arm. Clemson, even though they had a bad year this year, they're going to come back loaded. There's a lot of good things. Like I'm going to stand by it. He'll be the number 1 pick in the draft. So, all right, guys, we're going to wrap this up here. Thank you so much, Corey. All right, Corey. I thought Corey just said screw it, but Corey Homeland, thanks a lot, guys, for joining the stream. Don't forget, on your way out, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget, Friday, 7:15, I'm going to break down every NFL game. I'm going to give my opinion, even though my picks have been garbage this year. But you're going to get my expert analysis, plus we'll talk Thursday Night Football. So I'll see everybody back, hopefully Friday.